Hello everyone, and welcome to my scrapbook loft. And my name is Judy, and I want to thank you so much for taking time to visit with me. And happy Tea Tuesday. This is a hashtag Tea Tuesday video for Life with Patty. Hi Patty. And Kathy's favorite things. Hi Kathy. And I'm having the tea that Pat's Paper Crafts gifted me last week, and I did the video for that where I opened her Happy Mail and I had a tea in it, and it's the Trader Joe's Winter Wake Up Tea. So well, it's in the evening, so I hope that I've taken it early enough. It's about 4 p.m. so hopefully I've done it, well, what is going on? Early enough that it won't keep me awake since it says wake up. And what I'm going to do too is I'm going to do the answers for the 5 truths and 5 myths that I did last week on the Tea Tuesday last week. And I'm also going to have a couple of pictures inserted. I had to take Maggie to be groomed today, and I'm going to put in a before and an after picture of my Maggie, okay? So I did a video, you all, while I was sitting in my car waiting on Maggie, because we're 30 minutes from town, and it takes 2 hours to do the grooming. And gas is $3.05 a gallon. So it was easier to sit in town and wait 2 hours than it was to drive home 30 minutes, wait an hour, and drive back another 30 minutes. So it was easier just to wait in town. So I thought, well, I'll do a Tea Tuesday while I'm in town. Well, I messed it completely up. I had it on slow motion. Yeah, that's goofy me. Anyway, let's do the answers to the 5 truths and 5 myths. The first one was, I got my driver's license at the age of 16. That is false. False. Daddy did not think women needed their license. My dad's belief of women was barefoot and pregnant. Yeah. I was 20, I think, when I got my license. Yeah, it was 1975 when I got my license. I was pregnant with my second child. Yes. All right. Number 2, I am the oldest of 15 children. That is true. That is true. When I got married, there were only 12 of us. And my mom had 3 more after I married. My daughters went to school with uncles. Yeah. And they had one even younger than them. Robin graduated with 2 of them. And she's my middle one, and she's 2 years behind Tanya. And Philip, they kept him back a year, so he got to graduate with his brother and his niece. So, and then Sean was a couple of years younger than them. So, yeah, I'm 25 years older than the baby. Okay, so, oldest of 15, true. I taught school, false. I wanted to teach school, and I wanted to teach first grade. When I first started high school, you did not need a college education to teach first grade. So I was going to be a first grade teacher. That's what I wanted, because there was no chance of me ever going to college. I was not a scholarship person. Just average. I'm just your average Joe. So, but first grade was what I wanted to teach, and I had a reason for wanting to teach first grade. Being the oldest of 15, it was my job to take care of some of, well, the kids. Okay, so once I started school, we started playing school, and I was always the teacher. So my siblings, pretty much by the time they started school, could read and write, especially their name, and do some math. And so I wanted first grade because uh, when they learned that, they would get so excited. And that was a joy to see them to learn that. And I always wanted to be a teacher from the time I started first grade to even when I graduated and knew I couldn't. I would love to have been a first grade teacher, but um, that was not possible for me. Number 4, I worked in a sewing factory. Yes, I did. That's true. I worked in 2 sewing factories for 6 years. I worked in one for a year, and then I went to work in a department store and worked a snack bar. I was the manager in a snack bar of Rose's department store, and I did that for a year, and it just got to be too much because I had to drive an hour to work and an hour home. So I went back to a sewing factory, a different sewing factory, and I worked that one for 6 years. And during the last year of that 6 years, I worked for both sewing factories. I worked for 2 sewing factories because they did not have enough work, and this was in 1984. They did not have enough work for all day, and I needed to work all 8 hours. So I worked 4 hours for one and 4 hours for the other. And it, of course, it's production work. And I made 100% at both factories every day. So I worked at a sewing factory. I even worked at a card factory one time for about 6 weeks. Hated that job. Hated it. So 6 weeks was enough for me. Okay, I have always had a house dog. False. After I got married, we never had a house dog. I tried to have one once, and she shed so bad, and she chewed everything up. And she was basically an outdoor dog anyway, so when spring came, I put her outside, and she lived for a long time with us outside. She was perfect outdoor dog, and in the winter we always put her in a heated house. She didn't freeze. Okay, I have had a broken leg before. True. I was 2 years old, and we lived in Columbus, Ohio, on East Ennis Avenue in an apartment upstairs. And it was summertime, and one day I was sitting on the porch in my potty chair because we couldn't afford, toy furniture. So Mom had put the potty chair out on the deck for me to sit in to play with as my chair, and she had given me a banana. And the little boy next door, he wanted my banana, and I wouldn't give it to him, so he shoved me downstairs, and it broke my leg. And Mom said I was in a body cast for 6 months, and I had to learn to walk all over again. So I have had a broken leg. Okay. I did repos for a bank. Yes, true. I did repos for a bank. Yes. And I did collections for 6 years. Another 6 years. I worked in banking for 20 some years, but for my last 6 years, I did collections. And when I took the job, I thought, how hard could it be to get people to pay their payments, make their payments? Well, it was hard. But I never ever got told off or threatened, because when I made a phone call, it was me on the other end of that line, that phone call. I talked to that person like I was talking to me. When I did a field call for a collection and I knocked on that door, it was me on the other side of that door. Same way when I did repos, and I did repos, and I never had a problem with it, because it was always me that I was repoing from. And it's because I knew how that felt. I was about, I think, third, maybe fourth grade, and we lived in Jersey, Ohio then. And for Christmas, Mom and Dad got us some stuff for Christmas on credit. Well, Daddy got laid off after Christmas, and so he wasn't able to keep up with the payments. I don't understand, I was just a kid. So in the spring, they showed up at our house to repo. And there was a Barbie and a transistor radio, and Mommy got a stove, and Dad they got a TV, and it wasn't a whole lot, but it was enough that it was traumatizing to us kids. And I'll never forget that as long as I live, how we felt that day, and Mommy crying. So, yeah, when I made a phone call, or I went to someone's house, or I did a repo, or I did repo a vehicle or furniture, I was always sympathetic and tried to be just as kind as I possibly could. But I would work with those people first. You had to work with them, trying to help them, give them time to bring their payments up. I did that first for a long time. But anyway, I was good at it. The person before me and the person they hired after me, they both had guns pulled on them when they went to, but I never did. As a matter of fact, they would invite me in for a cup of coffee, a Coke, something to drink, and there always had to be a male officer with me when I went. And he always, he would go back and he would tell people at the bank, these people, he said, these people treat Judy like company when she goes. He said, I've never seen that before. And it's only because they were me. Okay? So I did repost for a bank. I have had a speeding ticket before. True. I've had two. I've had two speeding tickets. The first one, I was only 5 miles over the speed limit, and I had come out from a side road and didn't see the speeding ticket. I had come from a side road in a back way to where I was going, and I had no more pulled out and started to take off. I reached 40 and the speed limit was 35, and I got pulled over. So, and then the second one, I was doing 20 miles over the speed limit, and that was on a freeway, and a DOT man gave it to me. Yeah, so I was late for work. Anyway, the number 9, I am an avid swimmer. False. False. I can barely swim. Barely swim. I have played in the ocean and the lake, and I've gone swimming. I mean, we've had a boat and everything, but I can barely swim. So, my son is number 10. My son is in Air Force Intelligence. False. I do not have a son. I have 3 girls. My granddaughter is in Air Force Intelligence in Virginia. Yeah. So, you all, I had a few, let me bring it up here, who participated in that, and let's see, let me find it. Well, here it is. Here it is. All right, let's see. Kim's Inspired Life has true for number 1, and that is false. She has true for number 2. She got that one right. Kim has 3 right. She's got 2, 4, and 7 as true, and they're right. So I've had 4 spam calls today. So, yeah, she's had 2, 4, and 7 are true on Kim. Kim's Inspired Life. And Alex, a bullet for my snail mail, she only got 1 right, and that's number 2. 3, 4, 8, and 10. 3, wait, 4. She got number 4 right. That's true. Number 4 is true. She got 2, 3. She got 3 right. She got, what did I do back here? Oh, I got them circled. She got 2, 4, and 8 are right. She got 3 right. And Gina loves to craft. She got 1 right. Number 6. See, she's got down 3. 1, 3, 6 is true. 9 is false, and 10 is false. Gina got 1 right. Thank you, ladies, for playing along. I appreciate it so much. So much. I've had several jobs throughout my life, you all. I worked as a waitress many times, and I drove a Head Start school bus, and I did that for a year, I think, and card factory, 2 sewing factories, a department store. I worked as the, I was in the snack bar food management, and then I worked the service desk. And I worked in the bookkeeping department while I worked there. And 2 sewing factories. Yeah, I said that. 4 banks. And the reason there's 4 banks is I started at one bank. And then this person that worked there went to another bank. And a little bit later, that bank called me and wanted an interview, and they offered me more money to go there. So I went there because the bank I was at was like, nope, we can't do that. So I went there, and I worked there for 5 years, and then a loan officer left that bank, and he went to another bank to be the president of the bank. And he worked there for, I guess, a couple of months, and he called me and wanted to know if I'd work there, and he gave me another raise. I got a raise to go there. Yes. And at that bank, I worked there 3 years. And there was that bank had sold, and this loan officer that went from the bank before and went there and called me, they made him the president. He was the third president. And on his third year, the third year that we were there started to be some problems with the owners and him. And so I was kind of worried about that because I had kind of gone there with him. It basically, but I mean, even though he's the one who called me and offered me more money, but anyway, I was working there one day, and I was filling in for someone in the drive-thru teller, and one of the drive-thru lanes was down, and the guy that was there working on it, I used to know the name of the company that was working on it. He knew me from the bank before, and we were talking, and he apparently knew a lot more than I did. So I never said anything, but a week later, I get a call from a bank just 30 minutes from here. I was driving an hour to that bank. And so I get a call from a bank 30 minutes from here. And it seems that I had 2 people recommend me for a job. And it was a guy that I had worked with at the first bank, and he and I took some college classes together. And while I was at the current bank, he and I was taking some classes together. And he recommended me, and the man that was working on the drive-thru tube, he recommended me. So they called me, and another raise. So, and that's where I was working at when I started getting sick. And then my sister was working at a dentist office, and she was quitting. She was moving. So she had her boss to call me. And she wanted me in the office and to work with accounting and stuff like that. So she called me. And what she offered me, I couldn't turn down. No. It was more money on the hour than I had ever seen. So I went to work there. Left the bank and went to work there. And I was starting to get sick at the bank. Anyway, the collections was driving me over the edge because the stress was awful. And they were wanting me to get a little harder on people, and I didn't have the heart to do that. So, yeah. Anyway, the dentist office was the last job that I had. when I got sick. So, you all, that is my experience of jobs. Yeah. I want to thank Patty and Kathy for Tea Tuesday, giving us all the opportunity to participate in this. And you can drink whatever you want. You don't have to have tea. I like tea, so I don't care to drink tea. Sometimes I have coffee when I do my Tea Tuesday, and sometimes I have hot chocolate. So, yeah, I want to, like I said, I'm going to insert a picture of Maggie. I want to thank you all for watching. Let me get a sip of tea first. Pat, it's good. Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Pat. And I'll say goodbye.